You look around and you see people wasting their lives, seconds slipping through their fingers like sand, minutes burned on distractions, hours sacrificed to comfort, days thrown into nothingness. And then they wonder why they are weak. They wonder why they are forgotten. They wonder why they never rise. The truth is brutal. Most people are slaves to time and they don't even know it. They treat time like it is endless. They treat tomorrow like it is guaranteed. They treat their dreams like they can wait. But time is the most ruthless killer. Time is the blade you cannot stop. Time does not care about your excuses. Time does not care about your pain. Time does not care about your fear. It devours the weak and leaves only ashes. There is a reason why only 1% rise above the rest. It is not luck. It is not talent. It is not fate. It is because they refuse to waste what everyone else squanders. They do not bow to comfort. They do not kneel to distraction. They do not beg for tomorrow. They use now. Every second, every breath, every scar. You want to know why the strong terrify the weak? It's not because of their muscles. It's not because of their power. It's not because of their victories. It's because the strong have mastered what the weak avoid. Discipline, sacrifice, obsession. The ruthless use of every moment. The weak live for pleasure. The strong live for purpose. The weak live for comfort. The strong live for war, and this is the war. Against the clock. Against wasted potential. Against the voice inside you that says, rest, wait, you have time. That voice is a liar. That voice is death disguised as kindness. And every time you obey it, a piece of you rots. The ones who rise, the 1%, are different. When they hurt, they don't waste it on tears. They sharpen their pain into weapons. When they fail, they don't waste it on self-pity. They carve their failures into lessons written in blood. When they lose, they don't waste it on despair. They turn loss into fire. They are never idle. They are never stagnant. They are never soft. Every scar is fuel. Every breath is a weapon. Every second is war. But do you even realize what you're wasting? Do you realize how much of your life has already been stolen? All the hours drowned in distraction. All the nights wasted in comfort. All the days spent waiting for the right moment. The right moment does not exist. The clock is already against you. Every second that passes is a second you will never see again. And the grave is already waiting. The weak will drown in excuses. I am tired. I'll start tomorrow. I don't have time. Pathetic. The 1% don't have more time than you. They bleed the same. They break the same. They suffer the same. The difference is they do not waste. You want strength? Stop wasting time. You want power? Stop wasting time. You want to rise? Stop wasting time. Every moment you waste is a weapon handed to your enemy. Every second you waste is strength you will never reclaim. Every hour you waste is proof that you chose weakness. The clock is merciless. It does not care about your pain. It does not care about your excuses. It does not care about the life you wish you had. The clock is ticking. And the question is simple. Will you use it? Or will you rot with the rest? The 1% are feared because they live as if every second is their last. They fight when they are broken. They bleed when they are empty. They rise when everyone else stays buried. They are not human in the eyes of the weak. They are monsters, demons, Nightmares carved out of discipline and scars. And that is what you must become. Not soft. Not comfortable. Not another nameless shadow begging for time. But a storm. A fire. A blade that never dulls, no matter how much it cuts. Ask yourself, when death comes, will you beg for more time? Will you collapse in regret, realizing you wasted everything? Or will you smile in the face of the end, knowing you burned every second into war? That is the choice. That is the path. The weak will die begging. The strong will die empty because they left nothing wasted. So stop wasting. Stop delaying. Stop kneeling to the lie of enough time. Rise now. Bleed now. Fight now. Because the 1% are not chosen. They are made. Made by scars. Made by sacrifice. Made by the refusal to waste even a single breath. And when the world looks at you with fear, when they curse your name, when they call you ruthless, relentless, merciless, good, it means you have become what they will never touch. The 1% who never waste time. You wanted more. Good. The clock keeps ticking. The world keeps taking. People keep taking. Everything you thought would cushion your fall will be ripped away. Loss is inevitable. Pain is inevitable. Failure is inevitable. So what else is left except the way you answer? Answer by turning every wound into work. When the world empties your pockets, empty yourself into the grind. When they break your body, break your limits first. When they cut your heart, sharpen your will on the jagged edge of pain. There is no safety net. There never was. The only thing that remains yours is how you respond. Go run. Not because running fixes everything. Go run because motion kills despair. Go run because you will not be allowed to rot where you were dropped. Go run until your legs forgive nothing and your lungs learn to obey a new command. Go run until the rhythm of your breath becomes a metronome of war. Callous your mind. You don't grow soft by accident. You go soft by habit. Harden your daily rituals like armor. Wake up before the sun. Put your hands on the grind even when your hands shake. Marry suffering to your schedule and don't let divorce court take you back to comfort. Stay hard. Every time you want to stop, stay hard. Every time your ego begs for applause, stay hard. Every time your body screams, mercy, stay hard. Stay hard until weakness has no name in your mouth. The 1% who never waste time don't use motivation as a crutch. They use it as a match. They light it. And then they keep walking through the flames they just set. This path is lonely. Good. Let it be lonely. Loneliness is the workshop where monsters are made. While everyone else chases likes, you collect hours. While everyone else chases applause, you collect scars. While everyone else chases comfort, you collect a ledger of relentless progress written in sweat. You will be despised. That is acceptable. Hate is a mirror. If someone hates you because you will not bow, thank them. Their hatred proves you are doing something they cannot stomach. Set your mornings on fire. Begin each day with one question. What shame must I bury before night? Answer it with action. Answer it with grit. Answer it with disproportionate effort. The small victories stack into an avalanche. 1 extra mile, 1 extra rep, 1 extra hour of focus, these are deposits. The time comes when you withdraw a tempest. Embrace the suck. Not as some empty slogan, but as doctrine. Pain is a teacher that gives no lecture. It slashes the soft and exposes the stone. You will feel the burning. You will feel the nausea. You will feel the doubt. That's not a sign to stop. That's the door swinging wide to the next level. Make your failures your tutor. When you lose, don't cry, don't plead. Stand inside the loss and interrogate it. Ask it, what did you leave me? What did you make me see? Then go do the work so the next loss has fewer teeth. Fail until failure gets bored of you. Kill small comforts. Delete the devices that steal your time. Cut off the people who harvest your excuses. Cancel the memberships to mediocrity. Replace idle scrolling with deliberate suffering. Replace curated comfort with cold showers and early mornings and unread books taken down and devoured. Now, don't rationalize slowdown with logic. Logic is for conclusions, not for progress. If you want to be dangerous, become someone whose default is motion and whose habit is violence against the clock. Get comfortable being uncomfortable. If the bed calls you, answer with training. If the couch whispers, answer with sprinting. If your hands want to fold, answer with work. The body will want to stop. Oblige it once in a while if you must, but never make it a habit. Turn exhaustion into a recurring appointment. A place you visit frequently enough that exhaustion recognizes you and asks permission. Use your anger. Anger is a crude tool. Wielded poorly, it destroys you. Wielded with discipline, it becomes rocket fuel. When someone doubts you, turn that irritation to action. When life steals from you, accept the theft as tuition. Pay back with interest by training until the math of your work erases their insults. Suffer publicly, rise silently. Let them watch your collapse if they must. Let them enjoy the spectacle of your struggle. You will pay them back, not with words, but with outcomes. Build a life that makes their ridicule sound like static. Speak only with results, so the noise becomes irrelevant. There is no shortcut. There is only the narrow path that slices away excuses and leaves only you sharpened. Go run again. Run until your legs are history. Run until you regrow them stronger. Run until your breath is a metronome counting out a life you can stand behind. Callous your mind again. Repeat the sentence until it becomes a doctrine. I do not negotiate with weakness. I crush it. Stay hard until staying hard is no longer an act. It is your nature. You'll lose everything along the way. Friends who cannot keep pace. Illusions that once protected your vanity, the taste for comfort. Accept that theft as initiation. Every loss is a toll paid at the gates of ascendancy. And when you think you have paid enough, pay more. Because greatness is not a ledger with a final balance. It is a horizon that recedes the instant you think you've reached it. Find obsession in the details. The difference between mediocre effort and monstrous effort lives in things people call small. The extra 60 seconds of breath at the end of a set. The second draft erased and written again. The one more call made at midnight. The page read when the world sleeps. These are where the 1% deposit the currency of dominance. Dominate the mundane. Dominate the repeatable acts until repetition becomes tyranny over your weaker self. If you must borrow a phrase, borrow this. Don't stop when you are tired. Stop when you are done. And then interpret done, not as a rest, but as another threshold you cross to find the next rung. When they say you're extreme, smile. If someone calls you obsessed, accept the label like armor. They are comfortable because they have given themselves permission to be small. You cannot afford that permission. Your permission is to be as big, as cruel, as obsessed the work demands. Let failure be the hammer that reshapes you. Let every bruise tighten your resolve. Let every humiliation be the coal that feeds your furnace. Let every night of doubt become a scaffolding for a new self. There will be a moment, a single, quiet instant on a battlefield of your own making, When you look around at the ruins you caused and realize you did not seek mercy. You did not want applause. You wanted only to be stronger than fate. When that moment arrives, you will know the cost was worth it, because you will recognize the currency, not trophies, nor likes, but a mind that cannot be bent, a body that answers the call, a will that outlives every attempt to erase it. This is the last instruction. Never stop the season of violence against your limits. Never let the furnace cool. Never let the tempo slow. Never let the hunger be tamed. If you bleed tonight, bleed toward tomorrow's strength. If you break tonight, break toward tomorrow's bones. If you die tonight, let your legacy be the echo that compels the living to stand and run. Your life will not be measured by the comfort you kept, but by the havoc you made on weakness. So go run, callous the mind, stay hard. And when the world tries to tell you you've had enough, scream back, never. Then step forward and do it again. End with this, carved into your chest like a brand. The 1% do not plead for time. They steal it. They enslave it. They convert it into scars, into edges, into teeth. You either waste your life or you weaponize it. Which will you choose? Most of you waste time like you'll live forever. You scroll, you drift. You talk about what you'll one day do as if tomorrow's promised. It isn't. Every second you waste, the weaker version of you grows stronger. Every minute you delay, your dreams rot deeper in the grave. Every hour you spend hiding from the grind, someone else hungrier, sharper, more ruthless is sharpening their blade. And when the day comes, they'll cut you down without mercy. That's why the 1% exist. Not because they were chosen, not because they were gifted, but because they refused to waste a single breath. Self-improvement isn't pretty. It's not candles, affirmations, or apps. Self-improvement is violence. Violence against laziness. Violence against comfort. Violence against the softer version of you that keeps begging for mercy. And if you want to rise into that 1%, you must become the executioner of your weaker self every single day. Your body is the first battlefield. You want power? Then put the body through war. Not sometimes, every day. Wake up before the sun. No excuses. Comfort dies at 4:30 a.m. when you crawl out of bed while the world still sleeps. Run, not a jog, not a stroll. A run until your lungs burn, until your legs scream, until the streets know your footsteps like gunfire. Run like you're chasing the version of you that quit yesterday. Lift up. Break your muscles down and force them to rebuild stronger. Pull heavy weight. Push until your arms shake. Leave the gym drenched in sweat, looking like you just survived a battlefield. Push-ups, pull-ups, squats, burpees. No equipment? Good. Then bleed with body weight. No excuses. No gym? The floor is your gym. The world is your gym. Your will is your weapon. Every rep is not exercise, it's execution. Execution of laziness. Execution of weakness. Execution of every excuse still rotting in your chest. Your mind is the second battlefield. A weak body can be rebuilt, but a weak mind? That's death. Cold showers every morning. Stand in the freezing water and teach your mind to bow to your will. The weak search for warmth, you demand the cold. Read. Not mindless scrolling. Read heavy books. Read philosophy. Read strategies of war. Sharpen your mind with steel words until your thoughts are weapons. Journal like a soldier writing orders, not feelings, not fluff. Write commands to yourself and then execute. Silence. Train yourself to sit in silence with your demons. Do not escape. Face them. Rip them apart. Callous your mind. Make it unbreakable. Most people live like glass. They shatter at the first hit. You must become stone. No, harder than stone. You must become the blade that shatters stone. Your soul is the final battlefield. The spirit will try to quit before the body does. You must strangle that weakness. Meditate not for peace, but for clarity. Sit in the fire of your thoughts and make order from chaos. Visualize the pain coming. Don't run from it. Invite it. See the failures. Feel the losses. Bleed in your mind before you bleed in the world. That way, when it comes, you're already ready. Speak the words out loud. I am not finished. I will never be finished. Repeat it until your chest believes it. Most people waste their time on entertainment, chasing distraction, begging for dopamine like starving dogs. Not you. The 1% weaponize time. The 1% bleed daily. The 1% train like war is tomorrow. And here's the darkest truth. You will still never be satisfied. That's the point. When you've run 10 miles, you'll crave 20. When you lift 100 pounds, you'll crave 200. When you crush your rivals, you'll crave stronger enemies. That hunger will never leave. It is the curse. It is the gift. It is what keeps you dangerous while the world grows soft. So build the daily rituals of war. Morning cold water. Push-ups until your arms betray you. Run until your lungs burn holes in your ribs. Day. Work like a machine, no wasted hours. Attack tasks with violence. If you're not sweating, your brain should be. Evening. Train again. Weights, fight drills, body weight, push yourself into exhaustion. Then study, read, journal, bleed your thoughts onto paper. Night. Reflect. Not with mercy, but with fire. Ask yourself, did I kill the weak man today, or did he survive? If he survived tomorrow, you bury him deeper. This is not balance. This is not moderation. This is obsession. And obsession is the only thing that creates monsters the world cannot touch. You will not be normal. You will not be liked. You will not be safe. Good. That's the price of greatness. They will call you insane. Let them. They will call you extreme. Wear it like armor. They will call you ruthless. Smile when they choke on the word. Because while they waste time, you are weaponizing it. While they waste breath, you are burning lungs. While they waste life, you are becoming untouchable. And when the storm comes, because it always comes, you will not hide. You will not beg. You will not shatter. You will stand in the center of it, covered in scars, drenched in sweat, with eyes burning like fire, and you will whisper the only word the weak will never understand. The 1% are not human in the way the world understands. They are not guided by comfort, not softened by luxury, not weakened by excuses. They are forged in something darker. When they fall, they do not stay down. When they bleed, they do not retreat. When they suffer, they do not pray for it to end. They demand more. The weak see pain as punishment. The strong see pain as fuel. The weak see failure as proof of their limits. The strong see failure as proof they are getting closer. The weak whisper, "Why me?" The strong roar, "Try me." You've seen the spirit before. The warrior who stood against gods, knowing his body would shatter, but still charged headfirst into the storm. The fighter who smiled in the face of death, not because he thought he would win, but because he refused to die on his knees. The monster who took every blade, every wound, every curse, and still laughed because the world had not yet given him enough. That is what the 1% embody. Not perfection, not comfort, but defiance. You think sacrifice is losing sleep? You think sacrifice is skipping meals? No. Sacrifice is missing years. Sacrifice is bleeding until your body doesn't recognize itself. Sacrifice is walking alone when everyone else leaves, because no one is built to endure the path you've chosen. The 1% know this loneliness. They do not run from it. They sharpen themselves with it, because loneliness is the proof. Proof you are walking where the herd cannot. Proof you are living at a frequency the soft will never hear. Every day is war. Every hour is a test. Every minute is a question. Will you rise or will you kneel? The 99% kneel. They bow to comfort, to distraction, to weakness. The 1% rise, bloody, broken, but still moving forward. And that forward step, no matter how small, is what terrifies the world. The 1% are not motivated by applause. They are not inspired by praise. They are not addicted to validation. They are driven by something far darker, the refusal to die untested. They don't need recognition. They don't need love. They don't need safety. They need the battlefield. They need the struggle. They need the fire because only the fire proves they are alive. The weak waste time waiting for the perfect moment. The strong create war out of nothing. No gym, the floor is enough. No weights, the world is heavy. In no motivation? Good. That's when you kill the weak man inside. No excuses, no hesitation, no mercy. The path of the 1% will not make you happy. It will not make you normal. It will not make you safe. But it will make you unbreakable. And in this world, that is the only thing that matters. So hear this. If you choose this path, you are choosing to destroy yourself daily. You are choosing to live in war every hour. You are choosing to abandon comfort, abandon praise, abandon the illusion of balance. You will not fit in. You will not be loved. You will not be understood. Good. Because lions are not meant to walk with sheep. So run until your lungs rip. Train until your muscles scream. Study until your eyes bleed. Fight until the weak man inside is buried so deep he never breathes again. And when your body begs to quit, when your mind pleads for mercy, when your soul whispers enough, you rise. And you answer with the words that separate the 1% from everyone else. More. The weak will never understand this path. They will call it obsession. They will call it madness. But obsession is the only way you rise above them. Think about it. Some warriors never stopped training, even after saving worlds. They pushed beyond death itself, chasing limits that didn't exist. Not because they had to, but because they refused to let enough exist. Others looked at rivals stronger than them and did not surrender. They used that pain as gasoline. They turned jealousy into fire, failure into fuel. That is the mindset of the 1%. One man once said, "Fear is necessary for evolution." Pain, fear, blood, suffering. They are not curses. They are tools. Tools the weak run from, but the strong sharpen themselves with. There were those who carried pain heavier than mountains, who sacrificed everything, body and soul, and yet never broke. That is what it means to live beyond comfort. There were men who looked at the world and declared war because they knew one thing. Only those who dominate reality shape it. That is the darkness of the 1%. They do not wait for change. They force it, even if it burns everything in their path. The world tells you to balance. The world tells you to rest. The world tells you to be realistic. But true warriors didn't care about balance. They didn't care about limits. They trained until their bodies were shredded, until death itself stood in front of them, and still they screamed. I will never lose again. That's the difference. The 99% want comfort. The 1% want war. You think this is extreme? Good. There were those who looked at chains and didn't accept them. They broke them, even if it meant becoming the devil himself. That's what happens when you stop caring about being liked and start caring only about freedom. Others didn't ask for permission. They didn't beg for mercy. They took. They consumed. They proved that monsters don't wait for the world to give them scraps. They carve their own throne from the bones of their enemies. That's what the 1% do. They don't ask. They don't wait. They don't hope. They take. And still, most of you are wasting time. Scrolling, sleeping, dreaming, waiting. As if time is infinite. It is not infinite. Every wasted second is another scar you will never earn. Every wasted hour is another weakness that grows stronger. Every wasted day is another grave you dig for yourself. One soldier once said, "The only thing we're allowed to do is believe." So choose. Will you waste your life? Or will you rise into the 1% bloody, broken, merciless, endless? Because the 1% do not wait for opportunities. They bleed until opportunity is forced to bow. And when the world looks at them trembling, whispering monster, they smile. Because monsters never waste time. Discipline is the battlefield where most people die. Not because the enemy is stronger, not because the world crushes them, but because they betray themselves. The weak break their own promises. The weak abandon their own orders. The weak kneel to the voice inside that whispers, "Rest. Stop. Enough." But there is no enough. Not for the 1%. Discipline is not about habits. It's not about routines. It's not about some pretty planner filled with fake motivation. Discipline is brutality. It is the execution of comfort. It is the slaughter of the weaker voice in your head. It is war every single day between who you are and who you must become. Wake up when you don't want to. Push when you want to stop. Run when your lungs burn. Study when your mind screams for distraction. Train when your muscles shake. That is discipline. It does not ask how you feel. It does not care about your excuses. It does not wait for your motivation. It demands blood. It demands sacrifice. It demands that every day, the weaker you must die so the stronger you can live. Most people will never understand this. They think discipline is punishment. They think it's torture. They think it's slavery. But here's the truth. Discipline is freedom. Because without discipline, you are chained to weakness. You are shackled by laziness. You are ruled by emotions that betray you at every step. The undisciplined are slaves. Slaves to comfort. Slaves to distraction. Slaves to the soft voices of mediocrity. But the disciplined, they own themselves. They command themselves. They are merciless generals leading their own lives like armies into war. When the alarm screams at 4:30 a.m. and the bed whispers, "Stay," discipline is the executioner. It rips you out of the sheets and throws you into the cold. When the weight feels unbearable and your arms are shaking, discipline doesn't ask permission. It demands another rep, another set, another war. When your mind begs for comfort, when your soul begs for peace, discipline drags you back into the fire. Because the fire is where strength is born. This is why the 1% cannot be touched. Because they are not ruled by feelings. They are not slaves to comfort. They are not weak enough to need permission. They command themselves like warlords. They obey their own orders like soldiers, and they execute without hesitation. That is discipline. And that is why the 1% are feared. The world worships talent. The world worships luck. The world worships comfort. But talent without discipline rots. Luck without discipline fades. Comfort without discipline kills. Only discipline survives. Only discipline sharpens. Only discipline makes you untouchable. So kill the weak man every morning. Bury him in sweat. Choke him with cold. Burn him in fire. And let the disciplined self rise from the ashes. Do not wait for motivation. Do not wait for permission. Do not wait for mercy. There is only one law. Execute every single day. Because when the storm comes, and it always comes, talent will fail. Luck will vanish. Comfort will betray. But discipline will stand. Discipline will fight. Discipline will bleed. And discipline will win. That is why the 1% never waste time. Because time is the blade. And discipline is the hand that wields it. So sharpen yourself daily. Sharpen your body. Sharpen your mind. Sharpen your soul. And when the weak look at you, trembling, whispering monster, smile. Because monsters are not born. Monsters are disciplined into existence. Discipline is not about progress. It's about destruction. The destruction of weakness. The destruction of excuses. The destruction of the soft voice inside you that keeps begging for mercy. Every day is an execution. Every rep, every mile, every page. You are not building a better you. You are killing the weaker you. And the stronger one rises from the corpse. That's why most people quit. Because they don't want to bury themselves. They don't want to live in war. They don't want to bleed when no one is watching. But that's what it takes. Discipline is not applause. Discipline is not motivation. Discipline is waking up in the dark when nobody sees, when nobody cares, when nobody believes in you, and still choosing to fight. You want comfort? Stay weak. You want ease? Stay ordinary. You want peace? Then rot with the rest. But if you want to become untouchable, if you want to stand where the world cannot reach, then you must embrace this truth. Discipline is not about winning. Discipline is about refusing to lose. Even when you're tired. Even when you're broken. Even when your body collapses and your mind screams, enough. That's when discipline takes over. That's when you go further. That's when you become unstoppable. Because this is what separates the 99% from the 1%. The 99% want comfort. The 99% want balance. The 99% want results without suffering. The 1%, they want the suffering. They want the grind. They want the endless war against themselves because they know that pain is the only currency that buys greatness. The 99% waste time. The 1% weaponize time. The 99% look for excuses. The 1% execute, no matter the cost. So sharpen yourself daily. Sharpen your body until it bleeds. Sharpen your mind until it cuts through doubt. Sharpen your soul until nothing can bend it. Because when the storm comes, and it always comes, it won't be talent that saves you. It won't be luck. It won't be hope. It will be the scars you carved into yourself through discipline. It will be the wars you fought against your weaker self. It will be the blood you spilled every day to make sure that when the world comes for you, you are ready. That's the law. That's the truth. That's the path. And if you have the will to walk it, then there's only one thing left to say. Stay hard, motherfucker.